Hi Taurus, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subbie, you know I love you for it. With that said, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the website address below. And before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So, excuse me, this week, your key to the week, the energy that infuses the week all over you, for you Taurus, is the Hermit card. Now, interestingly enough, the first thing that we notice here is if you haven't seen the weekly general, please check it out. You got the same card for your key to the week as the destiny card for the overall week, which means in some way, shape or form, you have your finger on the pulse. This week, you understand this energy more than most. You're working or operating with it in some way, shape or form already. This is an energy that's kind of permeating your week, so to speak. So your Hermit card is about taking that journey inward. Sometimes this is about removing yourself from the world. Sometimes it's about shutting yourself away so that you can work on something, or you can go within yourself in order to gain the insight and the understanding and the wisdom that you seek. And I always say this, that whenever you see the Hermit card, your intuition is trying to get a message to you. The way that you, and sometimes that really does rely, life is busy, right? We all have things to do. We've all got things going on all the time. And so whenever you see the Hermit card, your intuition is saying to you, I'm trying to get a message to you, but I need you to be quiet. I need you to be still. I need you to do to go through the process or the actions or the motions of seeking that knowledge, seeking that wisdom to go within. Sometimes it can represent a pilgrimage. Sometimes it can represent a sacred journey, possibly even a journey to a sacred site. But very often, it's about going inward. It's about going into that place where you can connect with source, where you can connect with your higher wisdom, your higher self, your higher intuition, whatever you want to call it. So this week, pay attention to the deep-rooted feelings that you have. And in those moments where you feel like being alone, or you feel like withdrawing from the world, those are the moments to really listen to and trust yourself, because in those moments, there is some sort of message that is coming up for you. So this week, have I blessed my cards? I'd like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So your actions in your path ahead this week, you have the Page of Wands, right? So interestingly enough, your intuition may be asking you to be more childlike, to be more creative, to be more expressive. And ultimately, whenever you see any of the pages, these are very similar to the aces. They bring messages, news, they bring new, fresh beginnings, fresh starts, but they're also markers of consciousness. Some aspect of yourself wants or craves the lighter, brighter, easier sort of aspects of life. This is about really finding more ways to inject fun and pleasure into your life at this moment in time. And because this is on your action or in your actions in your path, what this is asking you for is to make time for creativity, to make time for spontaneous, you know what, let's go and do this, or you know what, let me pick up a pen and write how I feel, let me set some intentions, let me consider what hobbies or skills I might want to learn or gain. This is about really finding ways and places to do things where they're just done for the sheer fun and pleasure that they bring you. This is really important for you guys because it comes through the guise of the Hermit, right? So this is some aspect of your soul is asking you for this. Very often, the Page of Wands is about some form of a creative endeavor, which is why we talk about writing books, blogs, all of that kind of thing. So with your communications and conversations, you have the Four of Swords. So whatever it is that you are working on at the moment, It's very much behind the scenes. There's something going on here. The other thing with your Hermit card as well, this can represent a wise person in your life, somebody that you're connecting with or somebody that can help you get along. This is somebody that you could be brainstorming with. It's somebody that you could be connecting with, somebody that you could be talking about one of your own creations, something that you've already decided to put together, and now you're getting a second opinion, or maybe you're being driven or drawn towards certain people that can actually help you. The Four of Swords in your communications and conversations says that this week you're to wait. Just wait for whatever it is that you need to arrive, because it is on its way to you. But it does suggest, because the Four of Swords, this is a week for you to it's a week for you to really consider working behind the scenes. So whatever it is that you are working on, it's back there in the, it's bubbling away in the cauldron, as one of my friends says. It's it's happening behind the scenes. It's not quite ready to be launched yet. It's not quite ready to be shared with the world. But whatever it is that you are doing, you need to continue down that path. The Four of Swords is about rest, waiting, and stillness. So sometimes when I see this card, I say to people, what you need is already on its way to you. You just have to wait for it to arrive. And sometimes that's, especially when we're ready to move on with things, sometimes that can be quite a challenge. So this week, things may move slower than you hope, but there is still movement. Even if something moves slowly, it's still moving, right? You just might not necessarily see it. So interestingly enough, your Four of Swords opposite your Page of Wands. If things aren't moving as fast as you would like, tap into your inner creativity and fun. If things aren't moving as fast as you like, tap into that energy within you where you can say, you know what? That can wait for another day. Maybe I'll dedicate myself to having more fun or more enjoyment at this moment in time. For your money and materials, you have the Eight of Swords, right? So whatever it is that you are doing at the moment, whatever it is that you're thinking about creating, releasing, putting out there, you're going to have to be in it for the long haul, and it may very well cost you more to get off the ground than you initially expected. It does suggest, because your Eight of Swords can be also constriction and confinement, right? So, and this is your money and materials. It does suggest that at the moment you might be feeling a bit stuck when it comes to the capital that you need to get started on something, or maybe the resources that you would like to be seeing. Remember, Mercury is retrograde, so this energy is kind of going to be there for everybody in some way, shape or form. That doesn't mean that it's always going to be like that, but it does suggest that maybe you haven't got the complete clear picture on what your startup costs are going to be, or on what the true cost of something is going to be. What it's kind of saying to you is, right, it's an Eight of Swords. You're going to have to find ways to not overthink it, and also consider what is practical, and ultimately just be in it for the long haul. Even if something is moving slowly, there is still movement. All right. So for your love and relations, you have the Three of Pentacles. Gorgeous card, right? Because this is about learning about anything. But this week, Taurus, you're learning about yourself. You're really discovering aspects of what you want. What does passion look like for you? What does vibrancy look like for you? When you think about yourself being with a partner in, 3 to 5 years, what does that look like to you? For those of you that are partnered, what does your relationship, the one that you're in, look like in 3 to 5 years? Do you see it still being the kind of relationship that you want to be in, right? You're asking this on a really big, deep sort of level. And because it is the Three of Pentacles, you're open to whatever comes. It's kind of like, I don't care what the answers are, I just want answers. They are coming to you slowly but surely. And, for some of you, this may very well look like, okay, you know what? I think we need to change track. I think we need to change the way that we do things. I think we need to shake things up. There's nothing wrong with this at all. In fact, it's actually a really beneficial energy, because while you're learning about yourself, you're discovering what you truly want and need from your relationships. And ultimately, when you know that, you are able to be better for them, and you show up better for yourself. When it comes to the family, when it comes to relations this week, For those of you that do have children, this could be the week where they're really feeling the pressure of schoolwork or homework or anything to do with their academics. Rather than sort of making them more stressed, find out what you can do to assist them. You'll get a lot more out of it. For those of you that don't have children, it does look like you could be either planning some sort of trip or some sort of educational trip, and it does look like for some of you, you might have to change whatever travel plans you have coming up, because it does look like this week you might have something else coming in. So consider that. It's not necessarily a bad week, but it is more of an introspective week for you this week. So I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.